G'day Airbrush fans, it's Jason Farram from Farram Customs here again. Just going to run through a few of my stenciling techniques for people just starting out airbrushing. When you start off, obviously you've got a pretty basic airbrush and nothing to work with. So I use paper for my first lot. Didn't even have a printer, so I just traced it straight off the computer screen at night when nobody was looking. I don't recommend doing this if you can help it. Obviously you can wreck your computer screen. So these are just paper traced out, and then cut out with a scalpel. Start off with your image, move over to your positive and negative. You try and take that out in one piece. I'll split that, and then a little bit of effort, and that's what it turns out like. So you can see up on the candles I've used the template to go around that and clean it up. Mask it off so you don't get overspray on it. That's a single layer stencil. Now if you come up here, there's an image I wanted to replicate, and I've done this 2 or 3 days after I got an airbrush. That's one I drew as practice when I was tattooing. So you take a tracing and then you split it up into its separate elements. That's the switchblade knife, the banner, the writing, the brass knuckles. Notice I kept the piece out in the middle of that to mask it off. The cutthroat razor, and then this is an effect page where I've just put a few nicks in it with a scalpel, and then this is the finished product. Right, this was done with $2.50 a litre poster paint. Alright, you don't need to spend a fortune. I've laminated that. That's not expensive either. Alright, now when you're stenciling, this is not really what you're going for. Okay, this is a hard image. This is Mylar here. It's a special stenciling plastic. It's non-toxic. You can burn it, cut it out with scissors, however you choose to make your image. Now, unless you're doing writing, like here's my little logo I put on things, my company name, you don't really want to go for a hard edge. Most of the time what you're trying to do is just position your picture. Okay, here's some skulls I've been doing. This will illustrate what I'm talking about. This is white on black, so you can see that that stencil is quite powdery. This is what it's going on like. You can barely see it, and that's what you're aiming for. And there's the stencil that I use for that, and a little one. Alright, when you get a bit of money and you want to upgrade, here are some proper laser cut stencils from Airsick, these ones. Alright, now down here, that's what that comes out like. Alright, that's a hard spray, black onto white paper. Now when you get a bit better, that's the same stencil, and I've just gone around the edges, blended it in, and there's my little mini skulls off the same one. And then I'll put some transparent green over top, go over to hit a varnish. Bob's your uncle. And then when you want to cut out your own stencils, this is a multi-layer stencil. As you can see, you have 3 or 4 different colours on the one stencil, and here's some textures that have been cut out. So what I use on the Mylar is a converted wood burner. If I can get it out. So, I don't know if you can see that. That's just a garden variety wood burner. I've sharpened the end up, it burns through there beautifully. Now another technique you might want to employ is a light table. I can't afford a fancy light box for $100 or so. So a sheet of glass with a light bulb under it, any sort of lamp will do. There's the image I want to copy. Sheet of paper, that's not tracing paper, that's just normal copy paper. So that cuts down, I don't have to trace that and then trace it back out and then cut it out of the paper. I can do it straight onto the paper. When your skill gets a bit better, you go up into shields. They're not really stencils, they're no particular shape. These are just bits of cardboard and stuff for flames, them ones. So after a bit of effort, there's a blowing up. Now I've hand scaled that, and let me tell you, that sucks. They're tracing it out into little squares and making bigger squares and just like you did at school, guys. So, but there's the front of a washing machine here that I've done, and that's Frank. A bit of a self-portrait, that one. As you can probably guess, that's what my ears look like. 38mm stretches in them. So that's me as Frankenstein. And a little bit of an underwater scene on our chest freezer. So, you know, you can use anything as a stencil pretty much, or a shield. You can use your hand, you can use bits of tape, paper. For clouds and stuff, you use a Scotch-Brite pad all pulled apart and stuff. You can use paint brushes to do hair. Whatever you got laying around, guys, just give it a bash. There's some tape, little sharks. There's one there. A couple more down there. So that pretty much covers it for this one. Good luck with everything, guys. Don't forget to subscribe or comment. Be nice. I'll catch you around, fellas. See you later.